Welcome back to the Life with the Browns. When the Brown family first started out, money wasn't just money, it was power. It was survival. It was control. And according to Janelle, it was also the silent battlefield where every wife had to fight for her place without ever admitting she was fighting at all. Back in the early days, there was supposedly a system, almost like a family council, where decisions were weighed out. Which bill gets paid first? Who gets priority? How do we split the money? It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't fair. But at least it was something everyone could see. And then something changed. Because the more years passed, the more the structure started to crumble. The rules that once applied to everyone started applying to only some. And the money that was supposed to support a huge family, began to disappear into places that were never clearly explained. And if there's one person in this family who knows exactly where the money went and where it didn't go, it's Janelle. The warning that was never supposed to go public. There's an old saying, there's only so much a woman can take before she finally stands up and fights back. And according to people close to the Sister Wives set, Kody Brown learned that lesson the hard way. Insiders claim that during a recent filming break, away from cameras, away from crew, away from anything that could document what was said, Kody pulled Janelle aside for what he assumed would be a quiet, serious conversation. But instead of a calm talk, it allegedly turned into something far darker. Because word is, Kody gave her a warning. A stern one. Stop bringing up the money on camera. You're just making things worse. Let that sink in. Not let's figure it out. Not let's fix it. Not let's be transparent. No. Stop talking. Stay quiet. Fall in line. And here's the problem for Kody. He truly thought Janelle would obey. Kody thought she'd back down. But Janelle had other plans if Kody expected Janelle to soften, to retreat, or to protect him for the sake of family unity. He clearly doesn't understand the version of Janelle the world is seeing now. Because once filming resumed, Janelle didn't explode with screaming or insults. She did something far more dangerous. She became calm. And calm, when you've been pushed too far, isn't weakness. It's strategy. Janelle came back on camera with the kind of controlled energy that makes people uncomfortable, not because she was loud, but because she was done pretending. Her words were subtle, measured, almost casual. But the tone was a weapon. Viewers could practically feel the frustration she'd been swallowing for years, simmering under the surface, waiting for permission to finally breathe. And the irony of it all? The more Kody tried to silence her, the more the audience leaned in. Because Janelle didn't need to name names. She didn't need to shout. Her calmness said everything. The money was being taken out, and nobody knew why. In Janelle's version of events, the story is painfully simple. She says that for years she watched funds being pulled out, money leaving the family pool, without clear explanation. And the longer it went on, the more it looked like the financial structure wasn't being managed like a shared household anymore. It was being treated like someone's personal account. Janelle described it like this. In the last several years, Kody would just take out funds, and she didn't even know what for. The money was just being spent. And for a woman who's known as the practical one, the responsible one, the one who handled the numbers, that's not just concerning. That's infuriating. The comment that made fans lose their minds then came the moment that set the internet on fire. During a producer-led conversation, Janelle dropped a comment that seemed casual at first, until people realized what she was implying. She hinted that she had been told to stay quiet. And fans immediately knew who she meant. Suddenly, the entire vibe changed. Because if Janelle is being pressured to keep finances off camera, then that means there's something about the finances that someone is terrified of being exposed. The audience reaction was instant. One fan wrote, "This man wants her loyalty now after 25 years of crumbs." Another said, "Janelle's holding back and even that is shaking him." And honestly, that's the scariest part. Because viewers can tell Janelle isn't even going full force yet. She's restrained. And Kody still looks rattled. Here's the part that makes everything hit harder. Janelle wasn't just a wife. She was the one doing the work. She was doing the bookkeeping. She was recording transactions. She was sending information to the CPA. She was the one making sure the bills got paid. bills that were meant to be shared by all of them. And according to her, there were many expenses where the money needed to go that weren't always even her business, but she was still expected to handle it. So picture this. Janelle is carrying the administrative burden. Janelle is keeping the system afloat. Janelle is watching money disappear. And then Kody has the nerve to pull her aside and say, "Stop talking about it." That isn't leadership. That's intimidation. Insiders say Kody has been controlling talking points, and now, behind the scenes, sources are claiming something even more explosive. This wasn't the first time. Insiders say Kody has allegedly been pushing both Janelle and Christine to stick to pre-approved talking points, especially around topics like finances, favoritism, family breakdown, and anything that could make Robyn look bad because, let's be real, the moment finances get discussed honestly, it becomes impossible to ignore what fans have been saying for years, that Robyn wasn't just the new wife. She became the golden wife. And the money started moving like she was the only priority. But this time, Kody miscalculated. Because Janelle isn't just speaking for herself anymore. She's speaking for every woman in that family who stayed quiet while being treated like an afterthought. The interview that lit the match 2 days earlier, and if you're wondering why things suddenly spiraled so fast, here's what sources say happened right before the confrontation. Just 2 days earlier, Kody did an on-camera interview that was supposed to be reflective and calm, something about the family's future. But instead, he swerved into blame. And he didn't say Janelle's name, but he didn't have to. He leaned into that old narrative he loves, that Janelle was the one with financial control, that she was the powerful one, that she controlled everything. But Janelle clapped back, without even needing to raise her voice. She basically said, "He loves that mantra that I was this all-powerful one with financial control. But I wasn't. I was just the person who recorded the transactions and sent them to the CPA. Translation? I wasn't the boss. I was the accountant." Kody's veiled jabs, and the internet connecting every DOT, then Kody made it worse. He made comments like, "Some people can't manage money, some people throw shade, when things fall apart people should own up to their role in the downfall," and then, because he can never resist, he implied that certain family members are too emotional to be rational. That's when fans completely lost patience. Because everyone knew exactly what he was doing. He was trying to discredit Janelle before she could expose anything else. He was planting seeds so viewers would doubt her. He was rewriting the story in real time. But the problem is, Janelle has receipts energy, and fans can sense it. The timing of his jabs, right after Janelle publicly discussed being financially abandoned, was too perfect to be a coincidence. And suddenly, the subtext wasn't subtle anymore. It was loud. It was obvious. It was desperate. The real question, what is Kody so afraid of? Because at this point, it's not just about a family argument. It's about a man trying to silence a woman who knows the truth. And if Janelle truly handled the bookkeeping, truly tracked the transactions, truly knows what money came in and what money went out, then Kody isn't scared of her tone. He's scared of her facts. And that's why this moment feels different than anything we've seen before. Because Janelle isn't begging. She isn't chasing. She isn't trying to fix the marriage. She's exposing the foundation. And once that foundation cracks, everything collapses. The story doesn't end with Janelle standing her ground. It's only getting more explosive. Because while the world watched the cameras roll behind the scenes, a different kind of war was quietly raging. Sources say that Kody and Robyn likely had a plan, a strategy for how to handle Janelle's growing boldness, how to control the narrative, and how to keep the family in line. But Janelle? She had a plan of her own. And insiders hint that even the other wives were quietly strategizing, ready to reclaim their voices after years of being sidelined. The internet erupts. One social media post captured the exact frustration viewers were feeling, exploding across the internet within hours and racking up thousands of likes. The post read, "Kody's acting like he didn't hand Robyn a blank check while the rest of them were drowning." Another fan commented, "He's got a favorite wife and a fantasy life, and now he wants to blame the women he left behind." Even the production crew, according to insiders, was reportedly taken aback by the sheer audacity of Kody's remarks. But this wasn't just a slip of the tongue. It was calculated. He came in with one clear mission: blame Janelle. Yet, as the sources hint, the strategy may have completely backfired. If Kody was hoping to get ahead of potential scandals or fan backlash, he might have just fueled the fire. Janelle strikes back the very next day. When Janelle was asked about the family's financial handling, her response was calm, but heavy with weight. She spoke about the sacrifices she had made, pouring her paychecks into shared accounts, putting aside her dream of owning a home, and trusting that the family would take care of everyone equally. It was never about wanting more than anyone else, she said. It was about getting what I was promised. And for a long time, I didn't. That line hit like a thunderclap. And if fans were surprised, insiders were watching with even greater anticipation. Pieces from season 17 were suddenly making sense. Janelle, the wife who helped pay for Robin's house, meticulously budgeting every penny, while Robin allegedly shopped for luxury furniture and coordinated matching sets. After years of keeping quiet, Janelle was finally letting the truth slip, and it was shaking Kody's carefully constructed narrative to its core. Kody losing control, a family friend told one outlet. He's nervous. You can see it. He's used to being the only one with a voice. Now he's losing control of the story. And that's the danger. Because once Janelle starts talking, it's not just small complaints anymore. It's the reveal of decades of decisions, sacrifices, and betrayal. The tension didn't appear overnight. According to insiders, it simmered for years, reaching a tipping point in late December 2022. By then, the cracks in the Brown household were no longer subtle. They were splitting the family apart. Janelle had spent her adult life bending, sacrificing, and trusting the communal vision that promised everyone would benefit equally. Instead, all she got was betrayal. The Coyote Pass explosion. Multiple sources reveal that the argument that finally pushed Janelle to walk away revolved around unpaid costs tied to Coyote Pass, the family land they all contributed to. Yet, according to Janelle, only one wife was reaping the rewards. While Janelle questioned why her name remained tied to debts, Robin's massive house, allegedly funded by diverted family money, stood fully furnished and untouched. What was meant to be a shared dream became another broken promise, one Kody either couldn't or wouldn't keep. Marriage is hard, Janelle said, reflecting on her perspective. I thought it was just hard on me, but I failed to recognize what a struggle this would be for my wives. The bigger picture: this isn't just about a few unpaid bills or one bold comment on camera. It's about decades of control, favoritism, and mismanaged finances. It's about the wives realizing they've been kept quiet for too long, and now they're reclaiming their voices, one carefully measured statement at a time. Kody and Robin may have had a plan, but Janelle? She's writing the ending now. And as insiders warn, once she fully tells her story, nothing about the Browns will ever be the same. Money, power, control. For the Brown family, these weren't just words. They were the invisible currents that determined who thrived, who sacrificed, and who was forced to fight quietly from the shadows. In the early days, there was a system. Bills were weighed, priorities were set, and everyone had a say. Or at least, that's how it appeared. But over time, those structures began to crumble. Funds vanished, promises were broken, and favoritism became more obvious. And somewhere in the middle of it all, Janelle Brown reached her breaking point. The warning that failed during a filming break, away from cameras and crew. Kody allegedly pulled Janelle aside. What he expected to be a quiet conversation turned into a warning. Stop bringing up the money on camera. You're just making things worse. He thought she'd stay quiet. He thought she'd protect the image of the family for his fragile ego. But Janelle had a different plan. Calm, measured, and quietly intense, she returned to the cameras and started speaking, subtly, strategically, and with a clear message. She was done following Kody's rules. Viewers noticed. The more he tried to silence her, the more fans leaned in. The internet erupts. Social media exploded almost immediately. Kody's acting like he didn't hand Robin a blank check while the rest of them were drowning, one fan wrote. He's got a favorite wife and a fantasy life, and now he wants to blame the women he left behind, chimed another. Even production insiders were stunned. Kody had come in with a plan: blame Janelle. But the move backfired spectacularly. Fans and insiders alike saw the favoritism, the mismanaged money, and the decades of silenced voices. The financial and emotional tipping point, the tension had been simmering for years, decades even. But late in 2022, things finally reached a breaking point. A heated argument over Coyote Pass, the family land purchased collectively, pushed Janelle to a dramatic realization. While all the wives contributed, allegedly only one wife was reaping the rewards. Janelle's name remained tied to debts, while Robin's luxurious house, rumored to be funded with family money, stood fully furnished and untouched. The message was clear. What was promised to the family had been quietly redirected, and Janelle had been carrying the burden of loyalty, bookkeeping, and sacrifice for too long. The final blow-up, insiders say, it started simply. Janelle asked to access her portion of the family account. Kody responded with accusations: ungrateful, disruptive. "I don't think I want to do this anymore," Janelle said, looking him in the eye. And she meant it. From that moment, she began quietly reclaiming her life. She found a small rental, restructured her finances, and focused on her adult children. Most importantly, she stopped seeking Kody's approval. The cameras noticed. Fans noticed. Janelle's energy shifted from obedience to independence. For a man whose identity had been rooted in control, this was a direct challenge. Kody even admitted in a confessional, "Janelle doesn't respect me anymore. She doesn't love me." Fans weren't buying it. Comments poured in. Now that she's gone, he suddenly wants to act wounded. Kody acted like she was furniture for years. Now, he misses the chair he used to ignore. The quiet revolution and Janelle's glow-up 2023 marked a radical transformation. No shared accounts. No waiting for approval. No pretending the system was fair. Janelle moved into a modest apartment, not flashy, but her own. She relaunched her wellness business with renewed purpose, promoting health, fitness, and clean living with authenticity. Her social media became a real window into her life. Walks in nature, cozy moments at home, time with her kids. "I'm healing," she wrote in one post. "And it feels really, really good." The response was overwhelming. Fans, especially women over 50, praised her bravery. Comments flooded in. "She's glowing, and he's imploding." Meanwhile, Kody seems rattled. Even production insiders noted Kody's irritation during interviews when Janelle's newfound independence was mentioned. He dismissed it as a phase, but the truth was clear. The new Janelle wasn't performing for anyone. She wasn't bitter, she was free. In early 2024, as Janelle's independence gained traction, Kody reportedly escalated. Sources say he suggested non-disclosure agreements to producers and some family members, attempting to prevent Janelle from discussing finances, inner drama, or shared property. But NDAs don't work retroactively, especially when someone has already spoken publicly. Legal experts confirmed it was unenforceable. And the attempt, insiders say, backfired, making Janelle more determined. A family insider hinted at veiled threats. If Janelle didn't comply, she could be cut out of future show revenue, spin-offs, or property profits. Janelle didn't flinch. In a now viral confessional, she said, "I've been told not to talk, but I think we all deserve to tell our truth." That simple declaration sent shockwaves across the fandom. Janelle wasn't just defending herself. She was claiming her voice, her story, and her power. The bigger picture. This isn't a story of a woman running away. This is a story of a woman reclaiming her life, financially, emotionally, and publicly. Years of quiet sacrifice, manipulation, and favoritism culminated in one thing: a quiet but undeniable revolution. Janelle has gone from a supportive shadow to a symbol of strength, resilience, and empowerment. Fans are rallying. TLC is paying attention. Kody's control has weakened, and for the first time, the narrative is no longer his. And the question remains, once Janelle fully tells her story, what else will come to light? One thing is certain, this isn't the end. It's a rebirth, a reset, a life reclaimed. And the world is watching.